The cost of being a Christian is truly your life.
I've had several jobs since graduating residency, and each time God tests me in asking me which road I would choose, whether He wants me to go down a certain path, which according to the world doesn't make sense.
I thought that I had a certain path and a certain direction that my life was going into with certain friends, my family, work, and everything. But when I finally fully surrendered my life to Christ, I realized that my life was the cost. I had to give up my life and my desires.
So as a missionary kid growing up in both England and Ethiopia for my whole life, I was separated from my extended family. And now that I've moved back to the United States, I struggle to connect with them. They haven't seen me grow up from childhood all the way up until where I am now. And it puts a strain on the relationship. They really can't connect with what I've experienced. They haven't seen what I've gone through. They don't understand that I grew up in a very multicultural environment.
Because I am a single mom, my eyes tend to deviate. It's so easy to just go out in the world and find somebody, but with Jesus it's different because I want the best. I want His perfect will for me. So those are seasons that I feel lonely and I feel like I don't have anybody.
But just trying to do what God told me to do and created me to do while I was at work in a professional setting. I used to have my Bible on my desk, and my boss began to tell me, you can't have your Bible out. You got to keep it closed, keep it away so nobody can see it. People have been complaining that you've been reading your Bible.
And I literally prayed with every patient out of the hundreds of people I met that first year, except for one who refused because she was a devout atheist, that she didn't want to pray. The guys who hired me found out that I was praying, that they said, "We don't want you praying with your patients anymore." And then I asked God, why did you send me to this place if I cannot do what I feel like I have to do?
I have a daughter, so it costs me time with my daughter, relationship with my daughter, missing some of those moments. I remember doing a rehearsal one time, and she was sick, and I had a rehearsal practice, and I knew I had to be there. My daughter was able to stay with her grandmother at the time, but it kind of hurt me inside because I wasn't there at that time to comfort her. So it kind of cost me those moments where she needed her mom, but I wasn't there.
To continue to be in fellowship with Jesus, then I have to make really, really hard decisions. And I think the reason why I do it is because He's the most important relationship in my life. Jesus is.
Persecuted for Christ is something that is a privilege, especially in this country.
I would say being baptized into the sufferings of Jesus is learning to relate with the things that made Him compassionate, the things that made Him angry, the things that we see in the Bible where it says He was stirred up in His heart or is in His spirit.